Hi everyone, it is a very important day today at Full Scoop Digital. We have someone whom we cherish a lot in digital industry. If you have people like Robin Sharma, Neil Patel, Jay Shetty following your account, you must be doing something great. So I have a friend and an admirer, Sorav Jain at Full Scoop's office. Thank you so much for being over here. So let's know some essentials through Sorav which should help people to learn more about digital and to add a lot of value.
Hi Manish, thanks for having me here.
Right. So let's know from Sorav about his existence into this industry. So Sorav, I would want to know what brought you to the digital industry, because you are one of the experts I have seen in India. I would say that you have been the most active digital expert we have seen. Even in our office, many people admire and follow your advices. So how did you came into this industry? What led you to be over here? And where do you see social media 5 years from?
So I was accidentally exploring something in my college days,
Right.
because I did not like biotechnology as a subject.
Okay.
Because they would just give me leaf and a stem to dissect every single time, and I was just getting horrified looking at it from a microscope.
Right.
So second year, my senior offered me a job in a digital agency in 2006. So I was doing content writing there, learned SEO there.
Right.
So I realized that all that time I was curious till then that how did Google have all the answers.
Correct.
But this job of mine made me learn how to actually get all the answers done for Google by bringing those websites on top.
Right.
So that got me intrigued to digital marketing, but I wasn't sure. So then went to UK, did my masters in international marketing,
Yes.
learned the basics of marketing so stronger
Right.
that I could connect that largely to digital.
Right.
Then when I came back, digital was not even a subject in 2008. But then I got a job in a marketing agency, and there my boss said, why don't you start digital for us? And I said, sure. So he gave me the freedom of doing something, which got me confidence in exploring digital as a subject. And I think after that I never looked back, because though I didn't know if that would be the future at that point of time, but I always felt that I am very passionate about it.
That boss may not have recollected, but today that small call from that boss has given one of the biggest digital expert to India
Right.
for spreading the knowledge all over.
Right. So it's like this. No? So your boss identifies a skill in you and tells
Yes.
you should do this, or and from the day one. I was making presentations on SEO, analyzing websites, and
Right.
and then I introduced social media marketing to the team. So because they had big clients, they would go sell those social media marketing services to those businesses. So imagine my first client was the biggest IT company in the country. So and I had to do social media marketing for them. So clueless. And
Superstar.
yeah, superstar. And I remember there was a privacy policy, and we were not supposed to reveal a project to the world that that particular industry was doing, the client was doing. So I was working late night doing the tweets. Twitter was very famous then, like when social media marketing had happened.
Yes.
It was Facebook posts and tweets.
Right.
There was no Instagram, nothing then. And YouTube wasn't very in the limelight too.
Right.
So I finished the job, and I made a tweet saying that I today work for this top IT company managing this project of theirs and blah blah, and went to sleep at around 12, and when I woke up I had almost 30 missed calls from my boss, and I didn't know why. So I took the call and said, just go delete that tweet and come to office straight. Office was like 60 minutes away, and I was just too scared. क्या हो गया, आज तो मेरा पक्का फायरिंग होने वाला है ये वो. फिर वहाँ पहुँचे and realize हुआ कि as per the privacy we are not supposed to reveal the project, so we lost that account.
Oh.
Because of the mistake I did. Yeah, so luckily boss just shouted, that's the only thing he did. Nothing more. He didn't fire me, so that's like I'm so grateful about it. But I'm just saying you how the opportunity which I got was from the first agency that I was in, and the situations that came. From there, then there was no looking back, because I started blogging.
Right.
And blog got me my first client, and then I realized that the power of building a personal brand can actually get you what you want.
True.
So I kept doing what I have been doing consistently without any cost enough.
With personal branding, मुझे ध्यान आ रहा है सौरभ, आपकी वीडियोस बहुत, you are super confident when you record the videos, and many people who will be seeing about this conversation want to have their own personal branding video, कैसे खुद के record करें. Any suggestions for them through which they can start making their own videos? Many people want to get into this, but because of inner confidence, lack of inner confidence, or because they haven't jumped in the pool till now, they feel little reluctance. So क्या आज भी Sorav that we know is a super confident Sorav, 10 years before जो Sorav था, उसमें और आज में क्या difference है? Do you still practice before going to for the final video, or any advices you want?
So yeah, it's very important for us to learn that a lot of people fear making videos because they believe that people will judge them.
Right.
Number one. And I also feel that one of the most important skills that all of us should learn in our lives is communication skills.
Correct.
That's the basic, and I don't think schools teach that.
True.
पता नहीं मैथ्स फिजिक्स पता नहीं क्या क्या पढ़ा रहे हैं, जरूरत ही नहीं है उन सब चीज़ों की. मतलब फिजिक्स केमिस्ट्री तो मेरे को आज तक समझ में नहीं आया. तो आई डिड फिजिक्स केमिस्ट्री एंड मैथमेटिक्स इन माय 11th and 12th.
Right.
I still didn't know what I was doing. मतलब वो केमिस्ट्री का आज तक मुझे वो फॉर्मूला आया क्यों 2+C2 और मेरे को आज वो नंबर्स क्यों आ रहे हैं आगे. I didn't know. People knew how to crack it, but I didn't use my brain to crack it. Because I was like, wow, what the hell am I trying to do out of it? So the fact is, I think communication is one thing which I mastered in school.
Right.
So I was doing. So I was like a worst student in the class. Like 11th or 12th में in report card there'll be red lines, 4 red lines. सब सब्जेक्ट में फेल, वांटेडली फेल, बिकॉज मुझे लगता था क्यों मैं टाइम वेस्ट कर रहा था. और नॉट दैट आई डिडंट स्कोर डिस्टिंक्शन इन माय बोर्ड्स. उस टाइम पढ़ाई कर ली जब मुझे पढ़ना था, बट मुझे लगा कि पूरा साल क्यों पढ़ूँ इस चीज़ के लिए, जब एग्जाम आएगा पढ़ लूंगा. बट नो वन फेल मी सिंस 9th standard in my school. And when I used to ask myself why I didn't fail, it's because I was really good at certain things.
Okay.
I was good at dance on the stage. I was good at communication on the stage, and I was always representing my school in debate competitions, and I used to win awards for them.
Right.
So they knew that I am like an important resource for them.
Okay.
So if my parents would come for the PTAs,
Right.
all teachers would say that he's
Positive.
failed. Yeah, he's failed, but it's okay. So मेरी mom and dad like failure तो है ना, और इन लोगों को okay ये कैसा स्कूल है. So I said, so that's the whole magic of it, right? It's important for us to just be good at something.
Correct.
And not everything. So that's where people try to fail, because we try to become good at everything from the beginning. In India, like ये भी कर लो, music class कर लो, dance class कर लो, सब कर लो, और फिर बच्चा कहीं का नहीं रहता है.
And I think officials, even teachers, somewhere consciously know कि academics में results अच्छे लाना जरूरी है. Unfortunately, our overall education system is designed in that way, that academics or the results ultimately matter. But in their subconscious mind also, they know that if this person has some other skills, the level of confidence he's having, the level of the stage performance he's giving, if he's good into that, then of course academics matter, but other things matter as well. So therefore, probably that feedback to parents.
Everything is fine. Like the teacher who used to hate me the most in the classroom would still come onto the stage to see when I'm performing. I mean, like he would just come out the corridor to see I'm performing. So he knew that. I knew that there is something which matters, and that's what I kept pursuing. But yes, when it comes to communication and you're facing camera, the biggest fear people have is about themselves. The insecurities come on top of the mind.
Right.
And these insecurities are largely about what people think.
Yes.
And when I actually sat down to figure out why these insecurities come, these come because since childhood, whatever people have been speaking about you, for example, your voice, your appearances, the bullies of childhood, it comes in front of your eyes when you're talking.
Yes.
Especially when you believe that this will go on social media and people are going to look at all your flaws.
Right.
So once you fall in love with your flaws
Correct.
and accept your flaws, and you say, this is who I am. For example, if you see people like let's say Karan Johar for that matter, he knows a lot of his flaws are his strengths today, right? And he just doesn't care of what the world thinks about him.
True.
And he is a phenomenal speaker. But he would have gone through a process to get that strength in him by accepting that this is what my personality type is.
Right.
So it's all about knowing what your personality type is. And I always say this: do the small tasks, take a paper and pen, and write down everything that you believe people will talk against you. Right? They may say buddha, they may say dark circles, they may say muta, they may say voices like that. They may put down all the list, so you already know what is the world going to talk about.
Super amazing.
And once you start uploading content, and when people start talking about these things, you actually knew this is going to
ये तो
come.
पता ही था,
ये तो पता ही था. So I always say, अच्छा ये तो हो ही गया, ये तो ये नया है, ये भी डाल. किसी ने बोला चोर है, ये तो fraud है.
You become comfortable with your own content.
Yeah, I'm just saying that people will always have opinion about you,
Right.
and once you get comfortable with their opinions, both
Yes.
positives and negatives, you start enjoying everything.
True.
Like my team members will go fight, reply to them. I said, नहीं रहने दो. I don't fight on social media. People are being contradicting to anything. I give them a savage reply.
Right.
I said, you are the best. You're right. I'm happy that you've given me the right advice.
हाँ.
बस हो गया. उससे ज़्यादा क्या बोलेगा?
Correct.
तो कुछ
He
बोल
himself would be surprised.
या ये भी लाइक क्या अभी क्या बोलूँ. एक तो मैं उससे आर्ग्यू करूँ, उसको मैंने जस्टिफाई किया तो वो जस्टिफाई तो उसको लगता है कि मेरे को अटेंशन मिल रहा है
Correct.
और दो इसको अभी
Correct.
आग करो और लगाओ उसको. तो आई जस्ट डोंट. इट्स लाइक लेट्स मेक हिम अ किंग एंड से यू आर द राइट पर्सन. या मेरी गलती होगी, मैं तेरी बात मानता हूँ. उसके आगे वो कुछ नहीं बोलता.
I believe negativity comparatively is by naturally more in the
Right.
universe. Positivity की कमी है. Of course है positivity, but negativity usually is higher. So if people are circulating more of positivity, that about academics, yes, these kind of things are there in the overall education system. But I'm sure in coming time, if people like you and similar people are spreading the education onto this extent, with going a little out of the boundaries, maybe through social media, if not a proper that school kind of education, but still this kind of education would also add 5 stars to overall experience and awareness that people have. I was also going through the curriculum Siddharth Rajshekhar has. So I read or heard about him that he was also a school dropout, but he made his own mission that I want to give the education of this extent to people that even after not having the academics, people can learn up to this level. So that fascinated me that yes, if these kind of people or this kind of thought process is coming in the country, 5 years from now, India would have dozens of such experts.
Right. Totally agree.
So next question, Sorav, I would want us to talk a little bit about self-help applications because you're super amazing expert in Instagram. People who are watching this video, many of them want to be good in Instagram. Any applications you want to suggest which they should use, which shall help them to make better videos or better content for their Instagram?
So you can use this app called BigVoo, BIGVU, which is a very good teleprompter. So when you're recording a video, if you don't remember lines, so you can feed me a script, switch on your camera, and just read the script. So your video is getting recorded, and you're reading the script. It doesn't look like you're reading. Life becomes easier. People think, why is this guy having so much confidence in communicating? It's because largely it's scripted, and then the app BigVoo helps. Second is InShot, which helps you in editing and makes your life easier. Third is definitely Canva, if you're looking from design point of view, that makes a lot of difference.
Right.
I think sir, these are top 3 which is coming in my mind right now. These are, BigVoo is a paid one, but I think it's a good investment.
I'm sure these applications are good. Second, for the agency owners, Sorav, before this video also we were having a casual discussion. It's difficult for agency owners to say no to a client wherein they already know that this would not be a profit generating or a value adding client. How one can be motivated or convinced enough clients आना, because people get into the DNA of the factor when they start the agency. जब start करते हैं तो ऐसा रहता है कि we need the clients in any way to survive, but वो वाला factor कहीं ना कहीं अपने अंदर रह जाता है. Even when we make a bigger agency, that we have these clients आने चाहिए, जाने थोड़ी clients जाने के लिए नहीं होते, ना नहीं बोल सकते. How can people learn to say no to clients whom they know is not positive for my company in longer term?
So that's a art of experience that defines this all. Because initially you would like to take all the clients on board at any price.
Yes.
But when I started, I was very particular. No, I don't want to work with this client. I need to have that price factor. Only then we would accept those clients. But largely in our team, we discuss if the client is becoming toxic. Right? It's like I always feel client relationship is like how you would fall in love with a person. Right? And it's initially a little difficult to set the whole relationship. Then it's a very beautiful romantic phase that you have. And then again the whole roughness starts. And then you try to balance and you try to understand each other's weakness and strengths. So the fact is that in this process, if you see there's a toxicity and you can't handle the toxicity, the team is not able to handle toxicity, we largely say client that we are changing the industry, we don't want to work with you right now, considering that we have a lot more on the table and we're trying to downsize, we're focusing on education. We find multiple excuses, being very transparent. Client sees their lecture, whoever we said no to. But we do that because sometimes we feel that if it's not helping us in revenues and if it's not helping the wavelength is not matching, then what's the point in just trying to drag things to a level where they will just call it quit and make it look like dirty situation and they will find all the flaws and do everything negative about you.
Which probably impacts the morale of the team members, the overall branding and all.
It does that, and so we rather say goodbye to them very early on and say that I think we can't manage it, so you can mind your own.
Great. So next is sort of if you can talk a little about books or people you follow, which can give a ये वाला video देख के of course many people will learn something, but after this, if there is any advice you want to give, which can help them to consistently learn something. Are you into books as well? Do you love reading books? Any books you want to advise?
I love reading books. So I am not a person who read a lot of books. That's not my personality. I am the person who reads one book and try to become what the book wants me to become. Because I see people. Yeah, because people just keep reading books और फिर implement कुछ नहीं करते लाइफ। मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि like for example there's a Osho's book which I have and I try to learn मैं वही chapter पढ़ रहा हूँ वापस क्योंकि उस chapter से मुझे इतना सीखने को मिल रहा है और वही chapter मैं अपनी जिंदगी में लेके आना चाहता हूँ। So I think I've got my Bible. I read Robin Sharma's book and I watch his videos again and again, same video, same book, because eventually I want to become what he wants me to see. I may read or watch what Neil Patel is wanting to say because eventually, so I just see that if you find your author and you can read everything that the author is trying to say and try to become what they want to become. It's my perspective. Because a lot of people are book readers and they want to know what the different authors to talk about different things. That's just personally not me because I feel that you need good time for reading, which I don't have. So I rather focus on the same book. So next to my bed, there will always be two books, or on my table there will be two books. Same book. Just that when I want to just read something, I'll open it and I'll just read. There's also Mahatria and his unposted letter where I always get the answers I want. So if I'm in a dilemma and I need to get answers, I open it and I just see him saying something and somehow that starts relating to what I'm thinking right now. Maybe the answers are as such that yes, you can relate to your mindset. So yeah, these are few books. So Unposted Letter, Robin Sharma's every book out there. These are certain things which I do with respect to reading of business.
I like the idea because yes, while listening to you, I'm able to understand and realize that you connect with one particular author. और अगर जिस author से आपको connect feel हो रहा है, उसी के thoughts आप पढ़ रहे हैं, maybe through books, through blogging, or through videos, you will get to know that stream of knowledge in that particular direction. So implementing is more important compared to just crossing the numbers that I've read or heard these many videos. So the next and probably the last thing of today's video, Sorav, I would want to go out of agency and business related things. Sorav as a person, I remember I saw a reel or a video on your account wherein you spoke about 5 experts you have in your life. One related to fitness. I guess you tagged also some of the people. I was very impressed with that particular thing. And one related to, I think it was spiritual. One related to personal coach, related to business. So I felt that is quite a broader thinking. You're not talking about one particular stream, but most of the things that are important in everyone's life. Fitness के लिए, spiritual journey के लिए, business के लिए. I think you also included a fashion person, if I'm not wrong with that, who helps you to advise. So how did you came into that particular thought process, and if any advice on that?
So I think largely you need coaches in your life, in every phase of your life. You need an expert who you can meet with, like be it healing, be it dealing, be it relationship. Because the thing is, we all think that we know it all, but we actually don't. And it's better to learn from a person who knows it better. So I know of a person who works on my skin, there is a person who takes care of my smile, there's a person who will guide me on how should I attire be, there's a person who is mentoring me on how should I communicate, how should I sell better from a webinar or from the stage. So I keep learning and I keep investing. So I don't compromise on investing in myself. I will spend lakhs of rupees in just learning. and surrendering to mentors. So in your head, if you're still student, then that becomes, your life becomes more meaningful and purposeful. The moment you become an expert in your head is when the challenge begins, because your ego becomes larger than your life. When you're a student, your life is larger, your purpose is larger than your life. So that's very important. So I still like to be mentored. Like I just messaged Neil yesterday. So he's my Skype buddy. Like I only have Skype for Neil, so he doesn't communicate anywhere else. So even if I'm DMing on Instagram, I said Skype here. So it's Skype. So I just messaged him yesterday. I said I need some questions to be answered for my agency. Shall I show? He's like, yes, of course. So I already have those questions and I'll put it across to him, have his mental, have his guidance. It's the same with Robin. I don't have much conversation with Robin, but there is always whatever I have to communicate, I will communicate to him. I know he will listen to it and he will just give a one-word reply or just whatsoever. But it's always good to have the sources. That is important. See, a lot of people like today are chasing religious gurus and go behind Babajis and sadhus and angutiya pehn rahe or mandir ja rahe or nothing wrong in going to temple. But you have to all understand that the purpose of temple itself is to ensure that your mind is in control and you have a process and a routine set with your life. Now whether you replace that temple with your gym or with your routine with respect to your work or your content creation, Osho says that if your mind, body, heart and soul is in sync, then you are nothing but God. Because God wants you to be happy and He wants you to live in the present moment, and He wants the universe to connect with you, and that can only happen if you are in sync. That's why when people are dancing, they don't worry about anything, because everything is in sync, right? You're just enjoying that moment, you're living that moment. When you're in pub, so you don't think about anything else but that moment when you're dancing. There's no worry involved. So largely, if you define these parameters for yourself, or how do you want to bring the change? Like I was saying, that how people chase sadhus and they go to them to get the solutions for the problem. And if the nivaran is to put haldi somewhere or kumkum somewhere or milk somewhere, I don't know if that's the ultimate solution. I'm not denying that that's the solution for this, but the solution is your inner work. The more you work on yourself, the better you do to yourself and to the society. So कितना भी भाग लो यहाँ वहाँ, अपने आप पे अगला काम नहीं करोगे तो फिर उसका कोई मतलब ही नहीं है. That's what everybody is trying to say, that get disciplined.
Possibly, I believe many of the people do their own education till they are doing the qualification. That schooling चल रही है, college चल रही है, but it's very important what Sorav said, to invest in yourself. After completing education, probably many of us get into the job or business. We get our own personal responsibilities, maybe related to family or sustaining our own self. But because of these particular operations and regular things, somewhere we miss investing in ourselves. The way social media is evolving, we are getting into the mode where we can learn a lot of things through social media, also through the reels and through videos. But it's important to keep that particular vision and to invest in yourself. That will help us to grow. And I feel morally also, a person gets a lot uplifted if he is continuously learning something. We become a different person altogether. So maybe about following some great people on Instagram, maybe through reading books, maybe through visiting a particular thing, maybe temple or any institute. Whatever is working with you, if you are following that particular thing, happy. That's it, done. So thank you again, Sorav, for being here. We'll wrap up the video with this. I'm sure many people would learn a lot of things with this, and we certainly want to invite you again sometime in future.
Sure.
And let's say it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.